welcome back. I am filming another weekend reading in my life vlog, and I promise I will actually try to film the entire weekend again. Last time I tried to do that, I kind of failed, but I'm really excited to film this for you. It is Friday night and it's nighttime, so that's why the lighting is a little screwy. But I'm very excited to get some good reading done this weekend. This is the last weekend before Halloween. Next week is Halloween, and I'm really gonna try to get as much reading done as I can to try to get through my spooky season TBR and finish some of the books that I've started or the books that I really want to read. So I just want to go over really quickly what I've been reading. I have gotten a lot of really good reading done since the last time we talked. I read 2 Hercule Poirot mysteries. First, I read Mrs. McGinty is Dead, and then I read A Cat Amongst the Pigeons, and I will put both of those covers up for you. And my usual, if you haven't watched me before, I do read a fair amount of mysteries, and whenever I tell you that I've read them, I am not going to tell you anything about the plot because I think mysteries are the best books to go into without any knowledge of what's going on in the plot. So I will say I liked them both very much. I do highly recommend them if you really like Agatha Christie or you enjoy Hercule Poirot books. Just wanted to mention those 2 books really quickly. They were both like 4.5 stars for me. I have plenty of other books that I want to read before the end of October, and I'm reading 2 right now that I'm really excited about. And I'm gonna adjust the camera really quickly. First, I am reading Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This is a reread for me, but oh my gosh, I've really been loving this. I haven't read this for a really long time. Reading the interactions between the main character and her love interest, Mr. Tilney, I am eating it up, I'm kicking my feet, and I'm just smiling to myself while I'm reading this. And this is a really beautiful addition too. This is the annotated Northanger Abbey, and they really went hard in the annotations. The footnotes are really amazing, and they even have illustrations. They have illustrations here of pieces of art that are contemporaneous for the time that this was published, or when the story was taking place during the Regency era. And then here we have photographs of the pump room where some of the scenes in the book have been taking place. There are also paintings in here of, here's a young woman with curled hair. Oh my gosh, and it's just so beautiful. It really helps you kind of picture the people in your mind, picture the characters. It's like, oh, Catherine could have looked like this. And yeah, this has just been so much fun. Jane Austen is one of my favorite authors of all time. She and I share a birthday. We were both born on December 16th. So I just love Jane Austen so much, and it's always fun to dive back into one of her books. So I'm reading this, and I'm hoping to finish this weekend because I do have another classic or 2 I want to try to fit in before the end of the month, if that's at all possible. So maybe Dracula. I do really want to read Dracula before the end of this spooky season. This past week at work, I started listening to the audiobook for A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kinney, and this has been fun. I am really enjoying the vibes, but I have had a little bit of difficulty getting into the story. I am still pretty early on into the book. I'm on page 67, and this is just a very cozy, witchy story. The Halloween vibes are there. I think the plot for this is that we're following our main character, whose name I've already forgotten, which is not the best sign, Hecate or Kate. So the main character's name is Kate, and she is a witch. She is a hedge witch, and it seems like her coven has been hiding things from her. She's finding out a lot about her mom. There's lots of stuff going on. There's a little bit of a romantic interest, but like I said before, I just don't know why I'm having trouble getting into the book, but I do really want to finish this because the vibes are so fun and Halloweeny. So I'm really gonna try to finish this book as well this weekend. I think if I really dedicate myself, I'll be able to finish it, and I do like the audiobook for this book. The narrator does a really good job. So I'm gonna be reading that. Actually, maybe even last weekend or the beginning of the week, I started reading Rewitched. I read the first 2 or 3 chapters of this book, and this is another really cozy witchy book, a little bit of a rom-com it seems. This also has a bookstore theme. The main character works in a bookstore, and she has to, I think she's turning 30. She turns 30 and she has to prove herself as a witch. So this is another book I'm really excited about. I'm only a couple chapters in, but I do also want to finish this. However, I haven't been able to find the audiobook for this. This book came out earlier this month and I can't find the audiobook. I think I had pre-ordered it before, but I think I had to pre-order it. I think hopefully the audiobook for this will come out right at the end of the month. So maybe I'll wait for that too so I can listen to it at work, or you know, while I'm doing tours and things. But I'm also I'm reading it physically and on my e-reader as well, so I can kind of swap back and forth. Those are some of the books I wanted to talk to you about. The books I'm really excited to hopefully get to this weekend. Like I had mentioned before, I do really want to read Dracula before the end of spooky season, before Halloween. And considering we have less than a week left before Halloween, that's not an awful lot of time to try to read Dracula. So if I can finish these books, at least Northanger Abbey and Dark and Secret Magic, yeah, that's the title. It's kind of bad when you forget the title. But hopefully after I finish those, you know, this weekend, I'll try to get through a Dracula, and hopefully I can really dedicate myself to that mission. But here we go. So I am going to do a little bit of reading. I am probably going to put on a cozy ambiance video. That's probably how I'm going to spend the rest of my Friday night. I may get a little crazy and make myself a cup of tea as well. So I thank you very much for, you know, tuning into this video. I'm excited to read together. So yeah, come along with me. Maybe we'll have some pumpkin bread as well. back filming a clip. I filmed my last clip last night, settling into bed, getting all cuddled up to read my book, and I very promptly fell asleep. So I have not gotten an awful lot of reading done. It is now Saturday night, so I'm thinking I'm going to try to read a little bit of both Northanger Abbey and A Dark and Secret Magic. I'll try to flip-flop. Maybe I'll try to stay up a little bit later than usual. Maybe I'll end up getting tired and wanting to fall asleep. We'll see what happens, but I have this version of Northanger Abbey, and I also have it on my Kindle, and sometimes I can read a little bit quicker on my Kindle, especially if I'm in bed. So maybe that's what I'll do with Northanger Abbey as well. So that is the plan for this Saturday night. A nice stack of books, and I also made some tea and some apple cider for Maxwell. We're gonna have a cozy night in. Okay, I'm back from my walk. Oh my gosh, that was the loveliest walk. I took about 45 minutes. I walked about 2 miles and went up and down some streets I hadn't walked down yet in our new neighborhood. Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun to look at the leaves and just soak it all in, take in the sunshine, listen to the wind. It was beautiful. I like to call walks like that my Anne Shirley walks, because I feel like I'm just leaning into the childlike wonder, you know? Yeah, I came back, I had a snack. Maxwell and I are probably gonna go get some lunch pretty soon, but I wanted to talk really briefly about my reading. I think when I started off this vlog, I had very grand plans, as I always do for the weekend, and I wanted to finish a bunch of books. I wanted to read an awful lot, and while I have had a really good readerly weekend, I did want to briefly touch on why it seems like, even though I've been able to sprinkle in a good amount of reading throughout the weekend, I haven't finished any books, and I think that that is okay. And this is something I was actually talking about with my friend Maddie on like this past Friday when I was first starting this vlog, where it's like she was talking about how she was trying to like create a really cozy atmosphere, have a really cozy night, and then she ended up just falling asleep. And I feel like I ended up doing that a fair amount this weekend. And I think that as somebody who works a 9 to 5, who does a lot, I had a really big work week this past week. I think that what I needed the most from this weekend was rest, and I feel like I got that. You know, as a reader, as somebody who loves to read, it is okay to just read as one can in the midst of trying to get some rest on the weekends, especially with work and everything coming up. I want to go into the week well rested. So I feel like ultimately this weekend was a success because I do feel very well rested. I am still very invested in Northanger Abbey. I read on my Kindle last night. I read a couple of chapters before I ended up falling asleep, and I'm just loving every minute. And I think something else I need to think about is like, do I really want to read Northanger Abbey too quickly? Because I am enjoying it so much. Why would I just want to kill it in an afternoon and then breeze on to the next? I really want to soak in this book and really enjoy it. Hey! I can hear your footsteps coming. Look at you, you're so cute!
Are you filming?
I'm filming a little clippy. Alright, that was Maxwell. But to finish what I was saying, wherever you consume your bookish content, I feel like there is a lot of pressure to read a lot of books and finish books and, you know, read like maybe 10 books in a month. And there's just so much pressure put on that to create a whole lot of content about reading a million books at once. And it's like, you know what, sometimes it's just nice to slow down and enjoy the story, especially when it's a classic like Northanger Abbey or what have you. I'm really enjoying this story, and I'm excited to read more of it. And if it takes, you know, a couple of weeks to finish it, that's okay. When I read The Phantom of the Opera earlier this month, I don't know, I think it took me at least 2 weeks, and that was okay. I really enjoyed that, and it was a really good pick for the October vibes. So anyway, that's my little speech about that. But I also have a fair amount of cleaning and laundry folding that I need to do, so I'm thinking I will try to listen to more of the audiobook for A Dark and Secret Magic. And quite frankly, if I am still not feeling it by the time that I finish my chores today, I'm probably going to put it down and save it for sometime next month, or maybe save it for spooky season next year. Maybe it'll be a better read for me then if I'm still not really into it, because this coming week is the last week of October. It's not even a full week. This Thursday is Halloween, and I want to try to read or listen to the best spooky season books that I can, and if this just isn't it this year, then that's okay. I'm gonna read something else. So I will keep you in the loop, get some chores done, have a little bit of lunch, and yeah, enjoy this last bit of Sunday. Okay, it is time to clean. I have an old t-shirt on. I'm gonna put on my audiobook. I'm gonna do what I need to do, even though I don't want to.